Today on Toy Habits Reviews, we have the Masterverse Double-Headed Evil Strategist on the examination table. And before we get into the review, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you can be alerted to the latest reviews, news, and episodes when they drop. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits, and we are coming at you from our examination room. I'm Michael, and with me is my collector in crime, Larry, and today we are taking a detailed look at the Masters of the Universe New Eternia Deluxe Masterverse 2 Bad and comparing him to his vintage 2000X and of course his Motu Classics figure, and doing some size comparisons with some other Masterverse figures because good golly, Miss Molly, this figure is massive.
Yeah, he looks huge. I mean, a lot of these Masterverse figures, end up looking a little bigger than some of their other versions, but this one's, yeah, he looks freaking huge.
He is pretty big, and it's kind of cool because he fills up the entire Masterverse box. So this is kind of akin to the New Eternia Beastman and Skelegod box, and he's just huge. And you can also see the nice artwork that's done on the back, and they do a really good job with this.
I always like the art on these. I mean, I think they do a great job of kind of giving a few different looks. They've kind of got like the different colors to match him. Like
Yeah,
the side is kind of the blue, and the back has got the red. So I think that's a cool, extra thing that they put in there with the artwork, and I like that kind of stuff. So I think they're doing great with
oh,
those.
that's awesome. I totally didn't pick up on that, so that's really neat. And before we dive into the details of this figure, the person who we got this from did not want us to dish where we got it, so we won't be answering those questions in the comments. But let's crack open Too Bad and take a closer look at the figure. All right, now that we have Too Bad out of the box, let's start from the top and work our way down. And the head sculpts of Tuvar, which is the blue one, and Badra, who's the purple one, are absolutely stunning. And I thought they did an amazing job with the head sculpts, kind of making Tuvar look more humanistic and, playing into that original pirate looking design from the concept art, and Badra, who looks more like an alien creature.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely both have their, kind of unique personality that really comes out in the head sculpts. It's funny because I didn't know that the concept art had kind of a pirate theme for Tuvar, and but that's he does have that feel to him. So I
Yeah,
think that's cool that they were able to capture that. Because
yeah.
I don't even think I necessarily had a focused thought that he was like a pirate, but he does definitely have that pirate vibe, kind of with the earring and yeah, just something about his face in general. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of cool. They have the textures of each one half of the figures on their heads too. So there's the crests on the head and some of the texturing that kind of bleeds through, and you can see uh, Badra's texture on him too. And it's interesting because they've designed this figure in a couple ways over the years. So like sometimes Tuvar's head is up higher, sometimes Badra's head is up higher, and this one Badra's head is up higher on this one.
yeah, and I like that about it. And I think for me that I think that it's cool that they do have the different kind of skin textures, but they've done a really good job to me of making them look fused. I mean, you've got like the overlap of Badra's skin on top of Tuvar, and it's a really creepy kind of thing if you think about the idea that they're fused together like that. And I think that's cool. I mean, I think the other way you could have done it, of course, is to have like a seam kind of thing. That would have been kind of cool too. But I do like this, especially with the different textures kind of overlapping, and I think that's really cool that the kind of the detail they're putting in. I
Yeah,
think that's one of the things about the Masterverse line is they're really I think they've done enough different versions of some of these figures that they've really got some different ideas that they're trying out, and I think they've been really successful with a lot of them.
oh yeah, I totally agree with that. And actually, if you feel it, the Badra's skin is actually on a different plane
Yeah,
than
yeah, you can
Tuvar's.
tell
So
it's
yeah, I think
raised.
that totally plays into that. And yeah, I think this is one of the better figures where they've kind of done a really great job with that fused look to them.
Yeah, and I think the scale is what I really like about the Masterverse line too. I think that with classics we did have some figures that were maybe a little bigger than others, but I think they're really doing more of that with Masterverse, and I think that's cool. Because like Too Bad, he should be bigger. His chest should be bigger
Yeah,
because he's two dudes. I mean, it's not the same. He wouldn't have the same size torso necessarily. So I think it's cool
that's
that
true.
he's a more massive figure.
Yeah, no, I like that. And yeah, the uh, Tuvar has a piece of armor that's removable on the side too, and he's got his silver bracer, and it looks like a silver glove, which kind of looks metallic, but
Yeah, I like the glove. I think that's cool. It's a different another kind of different texture. I like the color of it against kind of the blue and the orange. I can't help but see that armor, the shoulder armor, is a traffic
yeah,
cone or like a wizard hat or something. But but uh but yeah, I think it's cool. I like that that's on there. I mean, you could take it off, I guess.
yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he might look a little different without it, but I'm not gonna take it off. And
Oh
yeah, Badra's arm looks pretty cool. It kind of has that crest that you kind of see on his head, and he's got kind of that light magenta bracer, but no glove. It looks like.
yeah, yeah, and I think once again it's cool because they've got their own unique kind of things about them. So.
Yeah, and the armor is interesting. I wonder if him and Squeeze shop at the same tailor because it's more of like that crop top armor, and it's kind of playing into the more of the geometric parts of Tuvar and Badra. Like I think it's just interesting that each of them seems to have more of like a geometric design. So like Tuvar has the circles and Badra has the triangles.
Yeah, even on Tuvar's side, it's kind of got that little bit of spikes kind of along the neck.
Oh yeah,
So that's kind of cool going along with the shoulder. So I think maybe like I would envision this as like their armor kind of maybe was stretched and fused together as well.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I think that's kind of a maybe it's taken it too far. They're
a
probably
stretch.
fused. Yeah, maybe that's a stretch, right? But no, I mean, like I kind of envisioned it just being like a fusing of everything about them,
Yeah.
their armor and everything. So
Yeah, like one of the cooler aspects is the armor from the back. It's got like a monster design for to hold like the mace and the axe, which I think is really cool.
it is. It kind of looks like a golem head or something.
Yeah,
It's awesome. I hadn't seen that before until you were kind of spinning him around there, and I saw the face, and yeah, I think that's awesome. I mean, you really never see it probably because on the back of the
yeah,
figure, but it's cool that it's there for sure.
yeah. He's having a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction, but that's all right. The belt design is actually one of the more intricate belts that we've seen, and actually the belt design pays homage to that concept art where they had that same dragon and eagle creature fusion on the chest armor. So I thought that was really neat, and just the way that they've decorated the belt, I think was really cool.
Yeah, and he's got kind of the triangular pattern, shapes on his side of the belt as far as Tuvar, and then Bondra's got just the rivets.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like their belt is almost reversed of the armor a little bit.
Yeah, I like that.
But I like that there's different coloring for it. You've got the green kind of on the one side and the silver on the other. I like those little hits of color like that.
Yeah.
Kind of breaks up. I mean, obviously there's two different sides to it, so it's already got two colors. But I think it's cool to have those little bits of color added.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And it's got a holster for a pistol, and I'm not really sure where that comes into play in the lore. So maybe somebody in the comments can let us know what that is. But, kind of like you know, one single piece black furry shorts on this guy. And he's got some cool boot armor kind of matching the hands and the bracers too.
Yeah, yeah, and you've got one I guess booted foot, and then
Yeah.
one just another one of those weird calf armor
Yeah.
sock things.
Yeah, because it's funny in the previous versions of Too Bad, he at least has some sort of like footwear. He looks
Sandal.
like it looks like he's wearing a sandal in some of the other ones, which we'll see in a second. But yeah,
Yeah, it
I think
almost has like a crown, like a king's crown kind of area at the top there or something. It's
yeah,
kind of funny.
yeah. No, it's a cool boot design. Kind of matches the bracers too, which is
Yeah.
nice. So.
I like the sinewy kind of look to Tuvar's leg. I think that's it really stands out. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely I don't know that I've ever envisioned him like that, really. And I don't know why.
All right, well, let's take a look at the pack out that came with Two Bad. So Two Bad comes with a very impressive pack out. So let's take a look at the goodies that are packed in here. And of course, they have to pack the extra hands in there. And these are closed fists. And, you know, they kind of mirror what their original hand design looks like, but just with a closed fist.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's good to have that, the option of switching those out. So
Yeah.
it's cool that they're there.
Yeah. You can kind of, you know, give him that angry fisted look.
Yep.
And he also comes with a double bladed axe that also pays homage to that original design of the chest armor. So you'll see that in a few different places here, but it's kind of cool because it's got a nice worn finish. And I love that they actually have a wrap on the handle this time.
Yeah, I always like that when they do that. I think they're doing a good job of making it look, look like an actual like worn wrap. It looks like cloth,
Yeah.
as much as you can with a piece of plastic, of
Yeah.
course. But I think they're doing a good job with those, and a lot of good wear and tear on the head of the axe, and
Yeah.
it looks cool. Does it have like a kind of a green tint to it?
It does, yeah. It's like a dark sage green. I don't really
Yeah.
know my colors that well, but you know, it's not like a normal looking green.
Yeah, it has a really cool look to
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's really neat. And then also the burgundy spiked mace and this green spiked mace also pay homage to the concept art because these look very similar to the ones that he was holding in that kind of rough concept art where Tuvar looks like a pirate.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think those are cool. I mean, and I think it's cool to have. We've seen some different things that they've done before, as far as like the single-handed kind of mace or club with two different kind of flail pieces or
Yeah,
whatever. But I like this, given an option to have like a different weapon for each hand, or the huge double axe,
yeah.
or I think that's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of versatility
Yep.
with this figure. And then speaking of, he comes packed with a pistol, and it's kind of cool that it's a double barrel pistol, kind of to represent both sides.
Yep. Yeah, it's cool. It does seem like an odd thing. So hopefully, like you said, somebody will chime in on the comments and let us know what why there's a pistol, because I can't remember anything character wise, but I don't
Yeah,
know the lore
yeah.
that well.
I hadn't watched the 2000X cartoon in a while. Maybe that
Yep.
comes into play there. That's pretty much the only thing that I can think of. And the last piece is the shield, which I think is absolutely amazing. This is the best shield that I've seen from a Two Bad figure.
Yeah, yeah, it looks great. Once again, you've got the two different kind of textures to it. You've got that kind of bird symbol again. You've got the geometric, triangles and rivets. So kind of carrying that theme all the way through the whole figure and the accessories as well. And then the cool kind of handle
Yeah,
area in the back. I love that they do those. So
yeah. I like that they made it a different color and just didn't make it just a straight orange.
yeah, yeah, it looks like a piece. It looks like leather straps. And I
Yeah.
think that's cool. It's they're adding in different elements to it. So.
Definitely. All right. Well, before we dive into the comparisons, let's take a look at Two Bad all geared up. All right. So here is Two Bad all geared up. And I think the cool part is that he can actually hold and stow all of his weapons. So there's no like orphan weapons that will stick to his hands that you got to keep in the accessory tray. But it's kind of cool. You can keep his shield on and have him hold his axe and the mace. And you can even stow his mace in the back here, which is neat.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that as far as being able to have all the gear, everything on him. So that's really cool. And I like that it's a different, like that kind of monster face on the back. I think that's cool because it's a way for a weapon to be kind of, laying horizontally versus the usual like the standing up over the shoulder kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just look.
Yeah, no, I like that too. And it looks like he's biting right into it.
I don't know how you would actually accomplish that, as far as like, because it wouldn't sit like that. I
No.
mean, there's no way, unless that's an actual like little monster
Yeah.
really holding it, and he's got really great jaw strength. But
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you never put it past Skeletor or whoever
yeah,
made Too Bad. So,
yeah,
um, but yeah, all right. Well, let's bring down some of the other figures. So, of course, we got to bring in the vintage figure because that's where he started. And man, just looking at just the comparison between these two, like this is just a massive figure in general. I mean, he just towers over the vintage figure.
yeah, he really does. And I think it's like I like the vintage where it's got like the arms kind of mounted on top of the shoulder.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that I kind of like this representation, this more kind of humanoid look to him, because I still think he's got all the same elements that he should have.
Hmm.
And he's still, to me, he's obviously still Too Bad.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any confusing him or not knowing him if you know anything about Motu. So I think it's a really great kind of update and new imagining of him, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's take a look at the 2000X figure, and hopefully the vintage Too Bad will be good and will not fall off the stand. But
Oh man, we're seeing Michael's figure display abilities
yes.
really to put the test here with the stands and moving things around on camera. It's very impressive.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's actually quite. I should maybe post a picture of what this looks like at some point
Yeah.
in the community section of what I have to deal with. Yes, but yeah, definitely the 2000X version. I think one of the better Too Bad sculpts.
It really was. It's to me, it has that same kind of feel where it looks more like the two creatures fused together. It's got different, kind of a different body style. To me, the drawback of all those 2000X figures is the sculpt.
Yeah.
The lack of articulation made them really difficult to stand. If they were articulated like a lot of the other Motu lines, I think they would have really been a lot better figures. Um, and I like a lot of the stuff about that. I think it's got some of those same things where it's tried to do the different shapes and designs for
Uh-huh.
each side of the figure, and I even like the split of the waist armor. I think that's kind of a cool thing is that to even split that.
No,
I don't know
I like that too. I think it might be a little much for the Masterverse
for this
figure
one.
since there's a lot going on. But yeah, I did like that aspect of it as well. And of course, everybody is going to want to see the classics version next to this one. And man, usually the Masterverse figures are in scale with the classics versions, but this is towering over the classics Too Bad.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely one of the larger figures, and you can really tell here because classics figures weren't small. I mean,
No.
that's yeah, fairly sizable figure. So yeah, we really get a good feel for how big this is.
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny because looking at the three different versions compared to Masterverse, I'm not sure what I think on the brow piece for Badra. How they did it in kind of a gold.
Hmm.
I don't know if maybe I would have liked it better if they would have left that orange,
Mm.
because I think all the other versions were orange, and I think
Yeah.
they're trying to maybe do something different to distinguish this one. Maybe add like the extra pop of color in there. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a bad choice. I'm just wonder if I would have liked it better, just to keep it that orange. But
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, because I think it's the only gold on the figure.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's just one of those little things that's like I wonder why they decided to change that, just because it has been consistent across all the other Too Bad figures. So
yeah, and then here he is next to New Eternia Battle Armor He-Man, and still pretty bulky, pretty oversized figure, which is really cool.
it is. I mean, especially like that, as kind of tall as Badra ends up being. I mean, he's almost a full head taller than He-Man.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
yeah, that's cool.
awesome. And yeah, I wanted to also bring in the New Eternia Beastman because that's also it's a pretty hefty figure. So I actually haven't done this comparison yet just for myself, but oh yeah, you can see Yeah, so they're like Beastman and Too Bad are on the same plane, kind of akin to the size of Skelegod too. So yeah, I like that they're doing different sized figures.
Yeah, yeah, this is it's definitely that's one to me one of the most impressive parts of this line is getting that different scale for some of the larger characters. So
Yes. All right, well, that wraps up our review of the Masterverse Deluxe New Eternia Too Bad. So let us know what you think about the figure in the comments below. I'm Michael,
and I'm Larry.
and thanks for dropping into the Toy Habits examination room.